Joining us now to discuss the tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk is Dr. Chloe Carmichael, clinical psychologist and author of the book, Can I Say That? Why Free Speech Matters and How to Use It Fearlessly. First of all, thank you for coming on the show today, Dr. Carmichael. Charlie has said that, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That is when civil war happens. How are you interpreting that phrase?
Absolutely. So, in my book, Can I Say That? Why Free Speech Matters and How to Use It Fearlessly, I discuss this phrase, words are violence, that people are throwing around. And I think many people have taken it literally in the same sense that they've taken the phrase social justice warrior literally. Or, many members of the trans activism community have taken the idea that you, quote, threaten their existence literally if you question them. And so therefore they're fighting back with actual violence. They think that because, quote, words are violence, therefore it's justifiable to respond with actual violence to opinions or rhetoric that you dislike. And Charlie himself absolutely never, would have been violent or aggressive against anybody. Words were his weapon, but absolutely not in a physical sense. He invited disagreeers to the front of the line. He welcomed dialogue.
And Dr. Carmichael, I would like to understand from a purely psychological perspective, how does repeated exposure to extreme or hostile rhetoric, how does that change how the brain functions, how it thinks?
Well, of course, it normalizes it. The more that we're exposed to it, the more that we normalize it. And the more that we actually tamp down dialogue, the more we're actually setting the table for violence. Any psychologist knows that if you're dealing with somebody that has a propensity for violence or anger management problems, the first thing you want to do is teach them to use their words. You want to increase their emotional vocabulary, teach them to learn how to have dialogue. And in our society, with all these labels, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, won't invite you to the Thanksgiving dinner. We're squashing opportunities for dialogue. We have to learn how to listen respectfully, even if someone's saying something we don't like. And so my book has techniques for that as well. It can even be helpful to remember back in time to when you held a political viewpoint that you now see as a little ridiculous, that makes you cringe. You can think about that when somebody else is saying something politically that you think is absurd, because we need to learn how to speak up and how to listen to each other if we don't want to have any more of these violent outbursts.